I'm Chris Fox, and this is the Bourbonite. Now, after I did a video a while ago talking about how you should drink your bourbon, or more how what all the different ways are that you can drink your bourbon, I started to find out that there actually are some really weird ways that people decide to get their bourbon to those different states. So let me rephrase this. Basically, there are essentially four ways to drink your bourbon. And that's, number one is neat. You can drink it with a splash of water, which, according to science, not me, science, is the best way to get the most flavor out of your bourbon. You can mix it, or you can just make it cold. Now, making it cold leads to things like whiskey stones or ice balls, which are like large ice cubes that allow you to have minimal surface area so it doesn't water down the bourbon as much as it would if you were throwing chips of ice in there or even ice cubes. I found a friend of mine who had some dry ice. So instead of cooling down whiskey with, H2O? That's for chumps. Instead, we decided to use dry ice and see how that actually affected bourbon. The smoke, the cool part of drinking a glass of bourbon with dry ice, the smoke goes away almost immediately. I was hesitant to drink any while the cube was actually reacting. I guess is reacting while the cube of dry ice was in the glass, because that thing is so cold that it'll put a blister on your lips if you're touching it with while it's in the liquid. So I avoided that. I let it finish. But even though it doesn't look as cool with the smoke billowing out, smoke, CO2, I don't know, whatever it is. Even though it doesn't look as cool, we're just gonna see how different it tastes. This is technically not bourbon. This is whiskey that's created from a bourbon mash, but it's got 112 proof, so it's hot. What I noticed immediately is that after the dry ice, it is not nearly as hot. Now, granted, I'm sure there's plenty of booze in there, but the flavor itself does not burn nearly the same way as it did neat, or even with a splash of water. The other interesting thing is that the bourbon is ever so slightly carbonated at this point, which that's to be expected. If you put dry ice into a glass of water, if you put enough of it in there, it'll actually carbonate the water. It doesn't last long, but it happens. The other really cool thing is that it cools this stuff down without diluting it a bit. I'm told it's still safe to drink after having dry ice in it, as long as the dry ice comes from a reputable source. But otherwise, it doesn't add a lot. It doesn't take away a lot. It just makes it colder. Like I said, that odd fizz is kind of interesting. It's not a lot of fizz. It's just there's a little bit in there, and it actually adds almost like a plastic taste. Not plastic. That's the wrong. Like if you've ever had saffron, kind of does that to your bourbon. If you like that, rock and roll. If you don't, I would avoid using dry ice. Kind of amusing, completely useless to hold on to, but so there it is. That's another way to drink your whiskey. So if you like what you've seen, hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, because there's plenty more bourbon and whiskey experimentation to come. Which is very interesting.